Hi, I'm Natalie Ledwell, and today I'm going to be sharing 10 money-saving tips for a lifetime of abundance. Now, the concept of having to save money may have you thinking, but doesn't saving money imply that I don't have enough? Well, let me tell you, this is not true. Developing an abundant mindset is about recognizing the wealth and the resources that already exist in your environment, all while creating more. So most importantly, intention matters. So if you cringe around the word budget, which I've had a problem with in the past, I used to call it the B word, chances are your intention or your energy behind it comes from a space of lack. You know, I used to go, well, I don't need to budget. You know, I'll just make more money. But this is not necessarily the case. Saving money because you think you may not have enough tomorrow is different from saving money because you want to invest in your future. This is just a simple shift of how we look at it. And our intention and our mindset and our energy behind doing these different actions makes all of the difference. Now, this is a simple shift, and when you catch yourself trying to avoid spending from a place of lack, switch your thoughts to a positive statement. So things like, you know, saving money brings proof of my abundance, or saving money allows for larger investments. Or something like, I enjoy saving as much as I spend it to invest in my future. So just little things like that, making small adjustments in your finances goes a long way, and it doesn't have to be intimidating. So here are 10 simple tips to help you budget and save more money so that you feel like $1 million. Okay, so number one, set financial goals. Now, when you set your financial goals, you want to continuously revisit them. After you calculate your expenses, decide how much you want to save each month and then set your budget for spending. So you can use apps like Mint to track your spending or to get free financial counseling from your bank. And they're always really willing to do that. Okay, number two, looking at your emotional purchases. So you've ever said something like, this leather jacket is going to change my life. Well, I think we both know that it's probably not true and it's not going to change your life. So watch yourself when you're making emotionally charged words around purchases. Okay, so this will give you a clue as to whether you should be falling for the shiny object syndrome or if you're becoming distracted by external things that you think will solve all of your problems or make you feel good in the moment or just be an instant gratification purchase. So when you find yourself emotionally charged, take a step back, take a breath, and I challenge you to allow at least 24 hours before you actually make the purchase. Okay, that way you're coming from a place of, you know, logic. You're coming from a place of, can I afford this? Is this in alignment with the goals that I've already set? And am I still able to do this? Then you want to make your choice, okay? So tip number three is do your research. So before you make a purchase, consider whether or not you will need to replace the parts, the shelf life of the item, how long before, if it's a renewal, if it's a subscription, and weigh that information against your long-term goals. So do you just need a short-term solution, or is it worth spending more now and saving money later? Being proactive about major purchases can actually save you hundreds and even thousands of dollars in the long run. So, you know, I know in the tip number one is to set your financial goals, but you want to keep checking back into this when you go to make a purchase. Because you want to always ask the question, is this in alignment with what it is that I want to financially achieve? And then make your decisions from there. Okay, tip number four is to pay into your savings first, if this is possible. What you want to do is automate this action if you can. Now, there are ways to have your checks split into separate accounts so that a percentage of your earnings goes straight into your savings. So you can check in and ask your employer to do this or set this up with your bank. So if you have your savings on auto pay, you're less likely to have the temptation to spend it, even if it's just a small amount to start with. So you are more likely to be successful by starting with a short-term goal, such as something like $20 a month, and then go from there. And when it's automatically going in there, it's like you don't even miss it. And you start to adjust to the other money that you have coming in, And then all of a sudden you'll find that you are starting to really accumulate some awesome, well-intentioned savings in your account. Okay, so tip number 5, avoid hidden fees and interest costs. So make a monthly habit of spending some time with your bank and your bill statements. So review for any changes that have come up that can be avoided by setting up certain features with your bank or meeting certain criteria. So human errors happen all the time. So it always pays to know that exactly what's happening in your bank account and to stay on top of that. And this action in itself, where you're being proactive and you're doing this from a place of really looking after and taking responsibility for your finances, has such a high energy around it, and it's going to do wonders for your savings as well. So tip number 6 is know when to buy quality products versus generic products. So things like furniture and major appliances or a professional wardrobe can all be examples of when you really want to buy quality. So if it's something that you won't use that often or even just use once, then look for a generic brand so that you can save some money and make sure that you're keeping everything or all your purchases in alignment with your financial goals. So tip number 7 is manage your paid subscriptions. Now, I know for me personally, I get out of control with this. I recently canceled a subscription that I had with Google for a feature that I never had. Like I bought an Xbox and I had some kind of gaming thing. I've had this thing for 2 years, never used it. Never, ever since I purchased it. So it's something that I thought that I would need at the time, but I've been paying monthly for it for nearly 2 years. So while autopay is a handy feature, we can easily forget about what we've signed up for if we're no longer using it, especially when it's a small amount. And a lot of those small amounts add up. So make sure that and it doesn't have to be every month, maybe every other month. Check on your subscriptions and see if you're using them all. Okay, so number 8 is double up on dinner. So I set aside time on Sundays to cook my meals for the week. So not only am I saving money by doing this, but it's so much more efficient for me because I can be working so hard during the day that I'll get to 3 o'clock in the afternoon and realize that I haven't eaten because I've just been go, go, go all the time. I know that when I do this, I'm saving valuable time and I eat healthy meals. And it means that I can go to the fridge, pull out a meal and fix it and heat it up and be able to go on my way. So if you can't cook for the whole week, what you can do is something as simple as making like 2 batches of dinner so you have something for the next day, which makes it super easy as well. I love to do that. Okay, so tip number 9 is be creative if you're looking for entertainment. Try and opt for things that are outdoors, find free local events that are in your community, indulge in a hobby, invite a friend over to your house instead of going out. And for traveling on a budget, check out our Savvy blog with tips on how to travel like a jet setter, but on a budget. Because there's many ways that you can save money when you do that. And it takes a little bit of effort, but you'll be surprised, especially if you love to travel and you love to entertain, of all the options that you have that aren't going to take too much money. Okay, now tip number 10, save on your transportation. So if you live in a city or if you commute into one of the biggest costs is our transportation. We have to pay for car maintenance. You probably have to make your car payments. You've got insurance, you've got gas, you've got all these other things that go along with that transportation. So consider alternative modes of transportation like riding your bike or carpooling, or at least once or twice a week, try and do one of these things to really help at minimizing the costs that you have for your transportation. Now you can also set aside a budget just for gas. So when you're shopping for insurance, look for an agent that can actually help you with comparison costs so that you know that you're making the right investment. Okay? All right, so now before I go, I'd love to know, do you have any other saving tips that can really help our community? And if you do, please share it in the comment box below this video. My name is Natalie Ledwell, and stay tuned for a new release every Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.